As many of you know, for the last several years, many years, the City of West Palm Beach has been committed to addressing the issue of homelessness. And we have been committed in so many ways. One of them is having a homeless outreach team, our very own homeless outreach team that works just in the city. So we've had a homeless outreach team through our interaction and contract with the Lord's Place for a few years now. And today we're very happy to announce and to share with you that this, because of the forward-thinkingness, if that's a word, of the DDA, we're now going to have a homeless outreach team that focuses just on downtown. So this is going to augment the great programs that we already have. As many of you may know or may not know, we spend about $4.5 million a year addressing homeless issues. We have our homeless outreach team. We have our Homeward Bound. We have our Vickers House. We have the director of Vickers House here, Lisa Kemp, in the back. We have an officer, a full-time police officer that's dedicated to working with the homeless, Officer Pinto, who is right back there. We are committed to building more and more affordable housing. We have over 350 units in a plan of affordable housing that will be built within the next year or two. So we are committed in West Palm Beach to addressing the homeless issue. And I'm very proud of the work that we've been doing. Now I'm even prouder now that we're going to have a group of people that will be focusing on downtown and will be seeking out the homeless, helping them to get the services that they need and in a placement where they will be successful and healthy. I challenge, and we are in the process of challenging, our state and federal government to address this issue. Bring us some funds. Help us work on this, because right now we're using local taxpayer money to do this. Additionally, we say to the county, move forward with the shelters that you have planned, because we need places for people to go. We don't have those shelters here in our county. I was reading about Chicago yesterday, and they have, I don't know how many homeless people, but about 4/5 of those homeless people are in shelters. 4/5 of their homeless people are in shelters. We can't say that. So we need to make sure that we have a place for people to go at night to sleep that's safe and warm and welcoming. Okay, thank you all for being here. I'm going to now turn it over to one of my personal superheroes, the director of the Lord's Place, Diana Stanley. Diana?
Good morning, everybody. Well, we are just so excited to be able to be here with you this morning. I thought it would be important for us to share with you a little bit of data about kind of where we are in the services that we've been providing for the last 2 years here with the City of West Palm Beach. You know, I have to do a shout out to the mayor, to Armando, to Sarah Mooney, Chief Mooney, to, where's Officer Pinto, Lisa Kemp. The only way that the Lord's Place can do the kind of work that we're called to do here in the city is because we have this amazing partnership with the City of West Palm Beach. And so we are forever grateful that we can call you partners as we try to serve the most vulnerable neighbors in our community. So let's take a look at what the last 2 years look like. We were able to engage with 746 individuals. We use that term engagement as being able to just say hello, start the conversation. Out of those 746 individuals in the last 2 years, 332 of those men and women received life-changing services. So that could mean treatment, that could mean food, that could mean housing, that could mean substance use disorder help, whatever that individual needs in order to remove that barrier. The really cool part, because in the world of the Lord's Place, we identify success by making certain that somebody who's homeless is no longer homeless because they have a home. So after 2 years, we have been able to place 195 people here in the city of West Palm Beach that were formerly homeless into housing. That's really, And that is our commitment. That will continue to be our commitment as we continue to engage with those on the street. But make sure you understand, this work is not easy. It does not happen overnight. I always use the word patience, right? We have to be very patient when we're dealing with our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness, right? It didn't take them overnight to become homeless, so therefore it's not going to take them overnight to stop being homeless. So lots of patience, lots of love, and I just have to introduce to you this team right here. Starting from the blue down, this is our street engagement team. They are the ones that are out on the streets every day, serving the community. We are now here Monday through Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 p.m. And so you will see those beautiful blue shirts and green hats, and that means that we're out starting to start the engagement process. For the reporters in the room, make sure you understand that we are not the outreach team, we are the street engagement team. It says it very lovely there. We are the engagement team that is dedicated to the city of West Palm Beach, so we're very excited about that also. Lastly, let me talk to you about what makes this program successful. It is the use that we have with our peers. It's very easy for our clinical director, who provides oversight, to go out and to be working with individuals on the streets. But the real secret sauce has been and always will be the peer specialists who are out on the streets. And that's this gang right here. So what does a peer specialist mean? It means someone who's had lived experiences, right? That can go out, that can sit next to Johnny living on the bench, can say, hey Johnny, I was here 3 years ago. Or talking to Doris and saying, hey Doris, I remember pitching a tent on the street of on Olive Street, but guess what, there's a better life. And so it is really the peer specialists that have made this program so successful. We are really proud of the work that we do, and as we move forward, we know that there is still one missing component, and that is housing. So today, we pledge on behalf of the Lord's Place, and I have our chairman here from our board, that we are going to continue to look for space, look for housing. We are looking for anything that we can then turn around to create a place for someone to call home. Housing is the issue. We can have a lot of engagement, we can help people, but that moment when they're saying, we're ready to come off the streets, we better have a home ready for them. So that's my call to action. That should be all of our call to action as a community, that we continue to no longer talk about housing, but start doing it. And I'm so grateful that the city of West Palm Beach is actually doing something under Armando's leadership. So we're going to continue to partner with that, but I ask all of us to stop and think about what role can you play in making certain that there's a home for someone when they're ready to leave the streets. I am really excited to bring up my buddy, Raphael, who I just adore, because this man has a heart as big as the rest of us here, and I wanted him to share with you a little bit about the Clean Team and his announcement on the expansion of our engagement team.
I'm very proud to be your buddy and try to keep up with you as best I can. I'm Raphael Clemente. I'm the Executive Director of the West Palm Beach Downtown Development Authority. We're a special district that serves downtown in many ways. Thank you.
Up a little. There you go.
And increasingly, we have been working in collaboration with the city's efforts to address the issue of homelessness. It impacts our community in many ways. Obviously, the individuals that find themselves homeless are the most impacted, but we also feel the impacts in our community in other ways, and we want to be part of the solution. We heard from Mayor Moyo about the very robust efforts that the city's taking, but the DDA having the ability to focus just on the downtown and recognizing that the city has the entire city to deal with. We are throwing our efforts right behind the cities by funding 2 positions that will work exclusively in the downtown to do that engagement on the street, and we're very proud to support the work of this team. We have always supported the Lord's Place in various ways, but just recently we started working directly with them. Clean Team, standing behind me, Melvin, Sylvester, Patty, Kevin, and Alfonso started with us in March. We're tremendously proud of the work they do in the community, not just making the place look better and feel better, but also being part of the Lord's Place engagement process of encouraging people to find services, whether that be through the Lord's Place or otherwise, and they have been very effective in that. The outreach program and the clean team will be based in the DDA office. Right now, the clean team is based there. The outreach program will be working in the downtown 6 days a week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we're going to have 2 professionals who are trained in this program, and we're looking forward to that. And I encourage you, if you can, support the work of the Lord's Place, support the city's efforts in addressing this problem. Thank you. And actually, I'd like to add, the mayor pointed out, this is an issue that goes far beyond the boundaries of our downtown, far beyond the boundaries of our city. It affects our region. It affects our nation. I talk to my colleagues who do urban place management across the country, and homelessness and the impacts of homelessness are at or near the top of all of their lists of priorities. Right now, the majority of the efforts to solve this issue, this major challenge for our country, are falling to local sources like cities, special districts, nonprofits, communities, and the state and the federal government do have a role in this. That's way above my head, but I want to back up the mayor's statement about we're all in this together, and it's an issue that's far beyond just the boundaries of our city. Thank you.
Okay, so folks, some other things I want to make sure people are aware of. We have a phone number, a dedicated phone number. So if you see somebody who's out on the streets, we get that question all the time. You know, we see someone out on the street, what should we do? So let me give you the phone number of our Engagement Street team here that can respond. That number is 561-578-4858. This particular phone, this line is actually staffed during business hours, but if we're not there, leave a message and they'll return. So let me give you that number again, 561-578-4858. I also think it's important that you understand that we are always looking for landlords to help us so that we can rent housing. So if you know of a landlord, and I know there's a lot of programs going on in the county, we need to just continue to support that. Also, there's whether it's the county or the Lord's Place or Armando, but it's all about the landlords wanting to come. And did you want to say something?
I just want to, in addition to calling this number, if you please, share the information. If you ever feel unsafe, call our police.
Exactly.
That's what they're there for. If you're concerned about your own safety, call the police department. Thank you.
Thank you. So lastly, I always like to end anything that we can do when we talk about the homeless, that we bring a face to it. So often we've become fearful of the homeless lately. We sometimes don't always understand them. And I'm going to tell you, after 30 years of being in this industry, they are somebody's brother or son or father or uncle or mother or daughter or sister. And we must never forget that. Perhaps they got lost on their way, but they are still a human being, and we still need to honor them and respect them. And I agree with the mayor, if there's something that you're not feeling comfortable, just as it would be anybody, not just a homeless person, but anybody, then that's when you reach out to the police department. But let us never forget that these are people that deserve the same treatment that we give one another. We very clearly believe at the Lord's Place, and as I know our partners do, that housing should not be a privilege in this country. It should be a human basic right. And so we will continue to work toward that end for as long as we need to, so that everybody who wants a home is ready for a home and has a place to lay their head at night. So bringing that human piece to the podium, I would like to introduce to you somebody that we just met yesterday. I got to meet. Heather's known him for a while, but this is Mr. Tommy. Mr. Tommy's going to come up. Yay! So Tommy Williams is one of our newest friends here from the city, and he's just going to say a few words.
Hi, how you doing? First of all, I just want to thank God for the Lord's Place, St. Anne's Place. This has been a long, tedious process, but Eileen worked closely with me, and she broke her back and she went she went above and beyond to get me off the streets, you know. And like she said, homeless people are just normal people. I served my country. I went to college. I was a good student, a good person. And one bad decision and circumstances got me to be homeless at 48 years old. And for the last 2 years, I've been trying to figure out how to live on the streets, which has been an adventure. But thank God to the Lord's Place and Eileen again. I have to thank her, and I thank God and my mom for just staying with me to get me through this process.
And what's happening tonight?
Today I'm getting my apartment. Yay! And you guys are holding me up on that.
Good job. Thank you, Tom. So you have your apartment tonight and you're going in?
Yes.
Thanks be to God. Good.
All
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Tommy will be around for questions. We all will be around. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. And make sure you remember there are people out on the streets too. Thank you.